Good morning and welcome to Morning Coach Today. I am so glad you're with us. Hey, it's JB. It is the 15th of May, middle of the month, and we have got a lot going on. It's awesome. Hopefully you had a chance to check out ILD Lifestyle, and then we're going into ILD Expert, and we're going to bring all that together this month and next month and really build an amazing lifestyle program, understanding that time is the most valuable currency. And with that, having your plan together, executing properly is a really important part of that. We've got some really big stuff going on. So June 15th, had to make sure my birthday's June 17th. Roxanne is going to do a special on Kobe. Roxanne's a Kobe certified expert, and part of understanding your plan is getting to know yourself a little bit better. And we've got another one coming to Human Design, but I want to take a bit away from Roxanne. She's going to spend time with us and really go over Kobe. And I think that's a really good session that you should try to make it to. This month, in a week, we've got the group coaching next Monday. That's another one that you could come and check, which I'm excited about. And John is really working on the belt system. So we've got some really great contributions from the community and a lot of things happening like we haven't done this in the past. And we're really getting a lot of participation in the meetups, and would love to have you come over in the community and be a part of that, because the coaching's getting better, everything's getting stronger, and we're getting ready to launch, by the way. And so if you want to help with the launch, testimonial would be fantastic. And you could also email and say, hey, JB, we're excited about bringing some new people in. Would love to be a part of that. So that's great. So excited about life, excited about what's going on here. Appreciate you being a part of it. We're mid-month, and we're going to have some fun this week talking about You're the Mirror. As far as your plan goes, we should be checking it, understanding where you're at. Right now is a good time to kind of make some changes for this summer if things aren't working the way they want. If you haven't had a chance to do intake, there are some intake forms there that you could fill out for us that kind of tells us what you're working on. We have a couple other ones. Your numbers from your white belt and your yellow belt numbers help us really get that structure for you, and also can align you with people, especially as you start growing this year. It's going to be a lot of fun putting groups together and seeing people living their best life, that success that I love to see so much, and that's what we're going to help you do. But this week we're talking about the mirror, and really how important it is. It is a metaphysical concept, the mirror. I'll go over that today a little bit, but it is an important thing, and you are the mirror. We'll go over what that is. Tomorrow, we're doing this Tradecraft of Elite Advisors. I love this book, getting great feedback on it. We're going to do chapters 11 through 17. Again, for those of you who are professional experts, it helps you add value. Those of you that aren't, and everybody is, that's a secret. But those of you aren't and don't think you are, you can use this in your career and things to create more value. Wednesday, we've got being self-aware and leadership. We'll talk a little bit about that today. Thursday, of course, get your questions answered. Friday, lead, follow, or get the hell out of the way. One of my better coach guests I've done in the past. Brand new take on this. Saturday, leadership systems. And Sunday, this is a good one. Finding ways to lead and still be at peace. How do you discipline and still be at peace? So a lot about leadership, a lot about growing and developing as a person this week, and starting off with this idea that you are the mirror. And discussing the mirror is a deeply metaphysical kind of analogy with actually a physical trait. Like, we all know what a mirror is, right? So when you think of a mirror, you look at it. And if you've ever read my book, Get Out of Neutral, my first book, I talked about the mirror ritual, where, you go and you look in the mirror and you look in your eyes and you see that you're this deeper person. You see and you know that you are connected to something bigger, right? And you just look at yourself. And that's such a spiritual exercise. And the mirror is also used in a lot of energy work where people have negativity, and let's say a neighbor's not who you want to be, or maybe you're having some problems with a neighbor or the town, or something's not working. Well, people put a mirror outside and create that reflection back, and if you're not into the woo-woo gray area, that's fine, but it is kind of a cool thing to know that, you put that mirror and it pushes that energy the other direction. So a mirror is a really awesome thing when you think about it. It's like that shiny piece of glass that could cast a reflection back. And so when we start saying you are the mirror, I want you to think about it as a leadership kind of perspective. So as you walk into a room, people are looking at you and they're mirroring you. they're doing the same thing that you're doing. And just from a sales conversation, right? This was a big thing I learned years ago, and I do it just naturally. When you sit down with somebody, you mirror them, meaning they sit back in their chair, you sit back in their chair. They come forward, you come forward. It's just a communication way that you do. It's mirroring, right? So you just mirror the person. The person talks with their hands, you kind of talk with your hands. And that's a technique. It's actually a technique that's taught that you can work on and you can get better at. But where I'm coming from today, outside of all those awesome meanings of the mirror, is to understand what the mirror is. Like what it truly is when I say you're a mirror of, people are mirroring you. So let's look at it as a parent. A lot of times your children are just mini versions of yourself, and they're mirroring your activities. Sir said something the other day. I thought it was great. I wasn't down there, but he was in class, and one of the guys that we work with has been with us for years and started years ago, 20 years ago. And his son's now 20-some years old. Maybe not that old, maybe 19. Hey, I don't think he's reached 20 yet because I think he's still in high school, maybe even earlier, 16, 17, because I know he's playing football and he's in high school. But Sir was looking at his dad and he goes, I'm not looking at you. I'm looking through you because your child is who you are. That's who you are, is the way that child behaves, that way that child acts. That's who you are. And I thought that was extremely powerful because what I talk a lot about is mirroring as a parent. Like the way you live is the way your children are going to live. And they're going to be a direct reflection of you. And same thing with leadership. When you're leading, there's going to be a direct reflection of you and the way that you act and the way that you are and the things that you do. And it's challenging out there when we talk about that because, for me, for example, I like to have fun. I'm a goofy dude. If you know me, I'm kind of a teenager with money. If you've been to retreat and you hang out with me, yeah, there's a seriousness about me, but there's also a real jovial part that's very immature. And I like that. I need that. I think it's because my brain is working so hard to support so many people. And every day, I'm working in the laboratory trying to figure out how can I make this better, almost to tears. It's so important to me. Like, I can't even tell you how important it is to make this great, to have impact. There's so many people impacted me, Zig Ziglar, Les Brown, Tony Robbins, those people that had such an impact when I was alone and there was nobody with me, and those books that I read and those tapes, they meant the world to me. And that's why this means the world to me, and it gets so serious. It's serious. You could hear it, the emotion, I well up. It's like, I got to get better. And then there's that time when I need to release. And those of you that are in Inner Circle or have been with me, that sometimes that gets goofy. Or if you catch me in group coaching sometime and I'm off a little bit, and some of the people that don't know me think, wow, who is this guy? I thought he was this teacher, this guy that's, did his PhD and his MBA and wrote books and has built this system. But here he is laughing and talking about stupid stuff on YouTube or, some immature thing. But I think for me, that's that release, right? It's that release that I need. I need to let go of that intensity sometimes for my own mental health. I need to be able to laugh. I need to be able to, like I said, let go. And so the issue becomes that people today have a real hard time with authentic people. They don't know, they don't understand. Not you. I'm talking about the general population. And so I've got to be very cautious with that image because I know that people are mirroring me. And that's why it's what I call being on and off. And it's something that drives me nuts because I like to be authentic in everything that I do. I want to be. I want to talk about my faults. I think you've been on here before and heard me, like I said. But, if we're starting to grow and there's a lot of new people, I've got to be cautious of letting my evil twin out a little bit too much because it can cause them to kind of back off and say, okay, maybe this isn't the person I am. Now, it's not that I'm inauthentic. It's just I have to understand the situation. Everything is in context, right? It's like going to a funeral and cracking jokes is not appropriate. When I go to Sir's event, I'll give you an example. When Sir is in charge, some people don't know when to be quiet. It's Sir's thing. He's running the program. But if you make a joke or Sir's joking and you start to joke, it takes his power away. And again, everything in context. That's what's part of being a leader is. You want to have fun. You want to do the right things, but you also got to know that you're a mirror. And I equate it almost to like combat. You're in combat. There's a time to be serious. You're getting shot at. This is not time to joke. This is not a time to be a teenager. This is time to be an adult, and it's time to make a difference. And then when you get through all that, and you get through and you break through, and you've had this battle and you're sitting there and you just need to let it go, that's where you start laughing. And understanding that concept is so important. So I have a reminder. It actually pops up that says, be the doctor. The doctor goes where the people are the sickest. And this is me working on me to be a better leader, because that's what brings me joy. That's what brings me energy, is when I see people participating and getting involved in our programs and, seeing it grow, in which we're launching now. So I have to be able to understand that. And I think coming back to the mirror is what's so important. Because it's like, okay, if people are going to mirror you, they're going to look at you, they're going to see that, and they're going to reflect off of you. Are you bringing the right energy? Are you bringing the right attitude? And again, for those of you that are parents, just think how important that is. I always laugh because I heard this from a speaker years ago, and it hit me so hard. And it was like, we teach our children not to be liars. We want them to be honest and full of integrity, right? And he goes, but yet when the phone rings, and this is back when they had phones, right? Back when the dinosaurs walked the earth. But when the phone rings, he says, when you tell your kids to get it, and you tell them I'm not here. Tell them I'm not here. And that's an old school thing, because now we all have cell phones, so it's the people just let it go to voicemail. But if you think about that in other ways, somebody comes to the house, tell them I'm not here. You're telling them the lie. But the problem is we're not aware enough to understand that what we are doing is we're trying to teach them not to be liars, but we're teaching them to lie. And it's the same thing in leadership and the things that we do. That if we aren't cautious about our approach. Now, it's really crazy because I'm an ILD guy, right? So I am a lifestyle and time guy. It's what I teach, and I believe in it more than anything. And so when it comes to corporate and I start working with corporate, it's really challenging because a lot of the people I work with, I'm trying to get their time back. But some people that are coming up, they need to work. They haven't gotten there yet, right? And that's always a challenge, trying to figure out when you should mirror and when you shouldn't. And that's why for me, it's hard for me to be employable, because it's challenging for the way that I work. And that's why I like people to be remote that I work with, because then I can do what I want when I want. But that's the lifestyle I've built. Okay? If you're leading a company that doesn't have that lifestyle, then we need to step back. Some of my business coaching clients, I have to take a different approach to what I typically teach because of the mirror. Now, as long as you have the expectation, as long as people know their roles, as long as people know what's going on, there's a lot of communication that we can work with the framework of the mirror. It's called positioning. The book we're talking about tomorrow is big on this. Again, that's about having your expertise and being able to position yourself so you have that respect, right? So people understand, well, gosh, why isn't he working on Friday? Or why isn't she working on Friday? Well, because they position themselves. They're an expert. They're doing something to release because they need to, because their intellectual capacity isn't there, whatever. But at the end of the day, understanding these concepts and being self-aware is what the most important part is, because then you can structure and build around it. And it's never too late to change. Like, you can change relationships. You can change the dynamics of certain things if you're able to communicate the expectations and learn the things that we're teaching. And also understand your people better. Have them do the Kolbe. Have them do human design, which is new. We're bringing that. Have them do Enneagram. Understand them. Those aren't perfect, but at least you have a better understanding of, okay, this is the way they think and this is what they do, so that we can communicate better when we're mirroring and make sure we're helping them move to the next direction. That's why for you, like when I say do the white belt, really the white belt's about all that testing, so we can get those numbers in so I can put you with the right people. As we start to grow, it's going to be a lot of fun to connect people that really are synergistic, right? And you don't have to do that. Again, everything we're doing that's new, you don't have to do. You can still show up and just listen. That's cool. But we're bringing some amazing tools to really foster that ILD life that I love so much. So again, I have a reminder set, and it's be the doctor. Be the doctor, and especially on the weekends. Don't get a little too crazy. You can be a teenager with money sometimes, but make sure you're in the right room And it's all about the context of where you're at. And that awareness is so important. And we're going to talk about that this week. But let's get off to a great week. If you know somebody that's ready for that next step, let me know, because we're really getting ready to expand Morning Coach to something really awesome. Oh, and by the way, Evening Coach is there. If you're having trouble getting to sleep, or you want to work on your subconscious mind, go click on Evening Coach. And there's some really great things in there. Again, Evening Coach is not about every day. Evening Coach is about putting tools and resources to help you go to bed, go to sleep, or work on something subconsciously. Remember, Morning Coach and stuff we do here is for the conscious mind. Evening Coach is for the subconscious mind. You find that in your library. Okay? So get out there, have a fantastic day. If you got somebody that needs some support and structure, maybe it's your team, send us an email, info@morningcoach.com. We can work on team discounts and stuff. We're breaking out here as really a tremendous coaching program. If you're somebody that's a professional expert that's looking to grow maybe their business and want to work with us on that side, let us know. A lot of great things happening. And if you're just somebody that needs that energy and you're like, hey, my wife or my children's getting a little older and they need this, can I plug them into Morning Coach? We can do some family things too for you. So just let us know, morningcoach.com. Can't wait to work with you. info@morningcoach.com. And let's just keep it going. Man, this is awesome. What a great time to be alive. I love you. Do it to it. And I'll be back tomorrow right here. We're going to do the book study. It's a good book. Really good book. All right. Go have a fantastic one.